Hello everyone, welcome back. I am here to do the YouTube Pagan Challenge, questions 5 through 8. These are the ones that are generally done in February, which I realize I'm late on them. But better late than never, right? Okay, I've got a little list of the questions and a few notes that I don't want to forget about what to say. So, question 5. Do you have any magical talents, psychic techniques, which do you consider your specialty? Okay, so I am an empath, which is about the only magical talent or psychic. Well, I've got magical talents, but I guess that's the only really thing I have that's sort of unusual, I guess. Semi-unusual, I guess. But I don't consider that a specialty. I'm not really sure what my specialty would be. I love working with essential oils and herbs. I've become good at gardening. I didn't really used to be, except for roses, which roses are supposed to be hard to grow, but I've always been really good at growing them ever since I was young. But I really enjoy growing things in my garden and then getting to use them in spellcraft and in kitchen witchery and all kinds of things. And last year my garden was all in containers, pots. It was a container garden. But this year some of it's going to be like that, and then some of it is going to be out in a little raised garden bed that we have. So I'm excited about that. We just need to clean out. There's all these rocks in the garden area, the raised bed, and we're cleaning those out on this Tuesday, and today is Friday, so this next Tuesday, in just a few days, we're cleaning that out. I also like to help make things like healing salves, soaps, and I made my friends, they're both moving soon, not into the same house, but I made them both a home blessing candle. So I don't know, maybe one of those is my specialty, I don't really know. What kind of divination text? This is number 6. What kind of divination techniques do you prefer? Do you record your divination results in your grimoire? Okay. I like pendulums, and I've got my favorite one right here. I'll show it to you. This is it. Oh, it's a little tangled. Here we go. It's this one with the different colors on it, like chakra colors, and then it's just a chain with a little clear bead at the end. I hope you can see it good. There's amethyst in it, and I really don't know what the other stones are that make it up. And then I also I don't know if these exactly count, but there's Zener cards. I like playing with those. When I was about 11, actually, I sort of made my own Zener card deck. There was I think there was 16 cards, but there were really 8 different symbols. I made them on those note cards that you make flashcards out of or something when you're in school. And I used them pretty much just like you would Zener cards, except at that time I'd never heard of Zener cards before. And I've also used keys, like skeleton keys, as a divination tool. I can actually show you. These are them. I made this pouch. You use the green one to close the pouch, and then you use these purple strings to open it. And I made this pouch when I was about, I don't know, it's all stained and stuff, and the outside's dark blue and the inside's got a liner that's light blue. I made it when I was, I think, 7, and then it's got 7 keys inside it, all different shapes and sizes, skeleton keys. Well, they're falling. Some of them, I think this is the largest one in there, and this is the smallest one. And then I know my grandfather gave me this one before he passed away. He gave it to me when I was about 4, I think. And then I've just collected the rest. And I used to use these, I would use them kind of like runes. Sort of like I would shake them around in the bag and either draw one out or throw them on the floor and then close my eyes and pick one. And then I don't remember which each one's meaning was, but back then I knew each one. I remember each one had a different meaning, and back then I had to memorize what each one meant, and like according to which one I picked, it like meant something. But I don't remember what the meanings are now. So anyway, I don't do much divination now. And when I do, because it's not like something where there's like, it's because like pendulums and stuff, it's mostly like yes, no, here, there type stuff. It's not like real complicated like tarot cards. I don't write down stuff in my grimoire or journal or anything like that. It's not real complex. Charging and consecrating your tools. Which methods work best for you? Well, this isn't, cleansing wasn't the question, but for cleansing I use the moonlight mostly. And then charging and consecrating, I always used to use like the 4 elements method, you know, where you pass it over the 4 elements, your tool and everything. And but that when you have more than one item to be consecrated at a time, it gets a bit tiresome, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is like so much work. And I like rarely had just like one item to do. And so I usually now prefer one of 2 methods, either using essential oils, and I like to make my own blends that I use for different purposes and stuff. And I'm actually going to make a video on that coming up pretty soon. And, oh, right. Sorry, I was looking at some notes. Oh, okay. Sorry. I also like the method where you like envision like a positive light coming up through yourself, like into your body, through your arms, into your hands, like up through the earth, into you, and through your hands and like into the item, like pushing away the negative energy and filling it with your own positive energy. I like doing that. And sometimes I'll do that and then put a little bit of like essential oil on it. Where do you perform your rituals? Holy sites, sacred spaces, and circle casting procedure. Okay, well, I don't always cast circles, to be honest. Whenever I'm doing rituals and spell work, I always wait till I'm alone, because as I've said before, no one really knows I'm a witch, so I can't really do that kind of thing because people will ask too many questions. If I'm doing a smaller ritual, sometimes I do cast circles. So if I'm doing a smaller ritual that doesn't require a circle, I always stay in my room, because there's not room to really cast a circle unless you're trying to do one that's like immediately around your body, like really tiny. Like you're sitting down cross-legged and you're doing one like right here, like this. I hope you can see my arms, but they're like immediately around my body if you can't. And then if I'm doing one with like a proper circle, I'll usually go either in this office where I am right now, which doesn't have much room right now because we're in the process of moving some things around. There's boxes behind the camera, but and I used to do them out. When I was younger, I'd do them outside. When I was like 11 through like 13, I did them outside, and usually, you know, my parents didn't realize what I was doing. They just thought I was playing around, you know, pretending stuff. Because I'd do them with my friend, or sometimes I did them over at her house. But, anyway. Oh, right, yeah. I haven't done any, I wanted to tell you, I haven't done any outside in a long time because, well, the last time I did one, I guess, was 2016 at Samhain. I thought, for some reason, I really want to do this outside to really get like the moonlight and everything and just be outside. And like, I tried doing it, and like these little kids were yelling at me. We live on the corner of 2 streets, like a main street. It's a main street of a a neighborhood, and then one that's a little less cars. But these kids came up to the fence, and it's one of those metal fences where you can see through it. And they were just like, they came into the yard to go up to the fence and just stared in and started just yelling things. You know, they must have been like, I don't really know. I'm not good at judging age, but they were probably somewhere between, I don't know, 9 and 12. And they started yelling things like, what are you doing? And then when I wouldn't answer them, they started being like rude. And then I was like, could you please go away, leave me alone? You know, and they wouldn't. And so it was real distracting. And then the time I did it before that outside was when I was about 15, I think, and my mother let the dogs out, and they started tripping me. And then I don't know, everyone just was yelling at me, and that time at Samhain, and I was like, I'm not doing this again. So, oh right, the question was asking about sacred sites. Well, I've never been to an official one, and my sister might come in here in a second. I just heard her get out of bed. Sorry. I've never been to like an official one like Stonehenge or Glastonbury or anywhere like that, and I don't really have anywhere that I consider super sacred, like at my house or anywhere like that, like a personal sacred spot. But the place I feel most comfortable is probably in my bedroom or at my grandmother's house. Just because my grandmother's lived in the same house forever since my dad was a child. And so it's one of those places where I just feel really comfortable because it's been there since I was a kid, you know, the same place. I've been going there every year since I was a kid, multiple times, you know, a year. And so it's like home, you know, because we didn't move to this house I'm living in now till I was 10 years old. And this house is, for whatever reason, never really felt much like home. And so, yeah, that grandmother's house feels more like home than this one does. And then for my circle casting procedure, I used to use a very structured, long ritual where you like do the kind of traditional Wiccan style. And now I use a simpler one that kind of calls all the elements sort of like all together. Sorry, I'm flipping the page. It sort of like calls them in one go almost, because it takes less energy, and it makes the whole ritual shorter. Because I don't have a lot of energy and everything with my illness and all that. It's just, I don't, and if it's really long, I start the whole ritual and everything, I start getting where I'm like toward halfway to the end of the ritual, I start getting where I'm just like, oh, I can't do this, you know, and it gets to be where it's like, turns into like I don't want to do this, I need to get out of here type thing, and I feel like I just need to hurry up and finish it rather than something I'm like enjoying or like honoring the goddess type thing. It becomes something else that I don't want it to become. And also, when I am casting my circle, one thing that I think is really important is to think of it not as an actual circle, but to think of it as a sphere that surrounds you, a sphere, like the shape up above you and down below you into the earth, rather than literally a circle that's just like on the ground. Also, I usually use my hand rather than an athame or a wand. I've never really connected with an athame before. I have a couple like daggers. I've used one as an athame before, but it just didn't really feel right. I used it once and it just didn't really feel right. I feel like it was too long. The blade was real long and just the whole thing, it didn't feel right. And then I have a wand, and I have two. One of them's like twisted, like that, you know, like two pieces twisted together kind of. and then it's got like a crystal point on one end and like a ball on the other. And it's very, I don't want to say generic, but it's not a one of a kind. They you know, there's a bunch of other people who have the exact same one. And so I didn't realize that when I bought it, but then later I had seen that other people had it, and I saw like a website selling it, and I was like, wait a minute, the guy told me this was like original or something, you know, and it's clearly not. And so then I felt like, I don't know, I just felt like kind of weird about it. And then like and I had never really strongly connected with that one, but I do have one that I connect with more. That's it's a one of a kind. The guy made it like out of a piece of wood, and I forget what kind it is, but I've got it written down. I just don't remember off the top of my head. But he made it on one of those like machines where it spins it and you like go along and make it, you know, like you'd do it normally with like a dowel rod, and it like carves it, it spins the dowel real fast, and then you take the little thing, and I don't know what the machine's called, except he did it with like a, not a dowel, but like a piece of regular wood or something. Anyway, also for the elements I use colored candles for the elements and spirit, and my working candle, plus God and Goddess candles. And yeah, I have not cast a circle with my new working candle yet, and yeah, I actually haven't cast a circle since last Samhain, because no, that's not true. No, I have. I cast one a little bit after Yule, a little bit into the new year. I forgot about that, but it was like a small one, not like a really big one. But yeah, that was the first time I tried doing the elements like kind of all in one go. That worked a lot better. Anyway, yeah, so that is my video. I hope it wasn't too long for you guys. And I look forward to seeing some of your guys' videos on the YouTube Pagan Challenge. And I will get going with doing March's questions and then April's, since it is already getting into April. And I will try not to fall behind anymore. So thank you for watching. Blessed be.